Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is Trey and you are watching Tuning with Trey. Thank you so much for being here with me. This is my second video. Super happy to keep bringing y'all just a little bit of lifestyle, a little bit of pop culture, you know, more gossip will be coming through, but also we'll be talking about some beauty things. And you know, we'll be talking about, like, you know, some community things as well when it comes to taking care of all of our community members, when it comes to like social justice issues and whatnot. And that's just, you know, a little bit about what we'll be doing. So if you hear a little dangle or so, that is one of my dogs, Droopy. He's very nosy. And y'all, it's just been a crazy day. First, let me just talk about the day I've had when it comes to being a young grown woman, taking care of your business, and that means financially, completing tasks. Adulting is just hard as fuck. Like, it's really, really hard. Now I got two of them. So if you hear them in here, they're my dogs. So a little bit about kind of what I got going on right now is, can you please move? Move. Go away. Out. Go lay down. Go now. You guys want me to go lay down. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. It's just been a very hectic day. Long story short, this is the second summer where I'm having issues with my vehicles. Last summer, June, my nephew wasn't even home for a week when my Hyundai Tucson was stolen from my house. Then got a second car, sedan. I thought it would be good for, you know, family and whatnot. And then I just thought that my truck was gonna take a longer time in the shop. Got ran off the road with a gun. Fucked up my car. Hadn't even had it for like 2 weeks. And then fast forward to this summer, my truck coolant system, whatever that shit is, I don't know, was all messed up. That's like a damn near $2,000 repair job. Then on Monday, I come out from a fabulous week. When I tell you I had so much fun, I went to Blast Music Fest, got to hang out with my bestie, and just got to vibe and look cute. Like have some, like, experience some Afrobeats, see Ira, Star, Davido. Like, it was just a beautiful weekend. I'm coming out on a high. I'm waking up. I'm like, girl, Monday is 6:30 in the morning. Let me walk my dog, you know, let me get my morning routine started. Just on a high from this weekend. I just had a really, really good weekend. Like, it was just so cute, and just still smiling about it. I open my door. I open my front door because while I do have a garage, there's like an issue right now with opening the garage. So I'm just kind of lazy, you know, I do street parking. And I parked right in front. Mind you, I have a Ring door camera. So I opened my door. I said, did I leave my window down? Did I leave the passenger window down? I was like, girl, like, I know baby girl be doing edibles, but I ain't that stupid. I get closer, girl, somebody done busted out my window. Mind you, I was told about my car repair last Thursday. So I was already irritated knowing, like, today or tomorrow I was gonna have to come out like almost $2,000. And now I come out on a Monday morning to see my car window busted out. Long story short, my car window is getting fixed in the garage as we speak right now. So I might have to stop, pause, whatever, but I think it's gonna take him some time. He started maybe about like 25 minutes ago, so I think I have some time to do my video. And I have my truck back now. But y'all, when I tell you, this bullshit economy, everything is going up, and while here's also too, I think a good segue into like what I really wanted to talk to y'all about today was imposter syndrome, which is why you'll see the title. But I'm happy. Okay, while this sucks that these unfortunate situations are happening to me, with my car being stolen last year, then me being run off the road with the sedan last year, then this summer my truck having a expensive car repair, and then me having to repair a fucking like busted out window of no, like nothing that I've done on my own, nothing. I am blessed that I'm able to take care of my business by paying my shit off with cash. Just got, because I'm thankful enough that I have the resources at this point in my life where when these little things come up for me, I don't like break down in tears and frustration. Like, yes, I might shed a few tears, I might scream out because I'm just frustrated, but I noticed that how quickly I am to bounce back. And it's just due to just having the means. Like, and we'll talk about, you know, why our community members do the things that they do when it comes to them just not having the resources. So we'll talk about that later. But what I really wanted to come here and talk to y'all about, and I have my notes, so that's why you'll see me looking down, because I wanted to have sort of a flow with this I wanted to make it a conversation, but also I knew how like important this topic is for me and how helpful it can be for other people. So I did a little bit of just a little bit of research, just when it comes to imposter syndrome and what does that mean. What I will say is currently I've said in my very first YouTube video, if you haven't seen the work that I do right now, I'm a director at a nonprofit that is youth led. We're an arts-based healing organization, so I am super fortunate and blessed to be working with some amazing young people who teach me every day about the importance of making sure that all of our community members have their basic needs met, that we're truly out here helping our community members instead of incarcerating them and throwing them in cages, because that's literally what a jail is cages. And how important it is to just show up, and also by doing the work as well too. A lot of people sit on social media, or they sit in their everyday lives, or they sit at the bus stop, wherever they are, and they have conversations about the state of the world, the state of the community. They talk about the violence, some people talk about the homelessness issue, drugs and that. And I've just learned that sometimes the most people that got the most to say aren't even doing a lot. So, hey, like, let's talk about it. So, imposter syndrome, I'm going to like give you guys a few little tidbits I got from Psychology Today around what imposter syndrome is. And it's a condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally, despite being high performing in external and objective ways. This condition often results in people feeling like a fraud or phony, and doubting their abilities. I can speak to this also perfectly because once upon a time, I was afraid to put out a YouTube video. I am terrified, y'all. I'm still learning. I'm still new to this, but it wasn't until 2020 where I really stepped out of my shadow. So January 2020, I started an assistant buyer position. My background is I have a degree in fashion merchandising. However, just with the state of the world, being a Black woman, being the oldest of family, and having to take care of a younger sister, and not feeling so confident in my abilities of going into fashion right after college, I mostly just work customer service jobs, sales jobs, whatever I can do to kind of pay the bills. And finally, I got this assistant buyer position where, when I tell you at the interview, I hyperventilated before the interview because I was like, they're never gonna pick me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I stepped into the role. There were a lot of challenges I had, and a lot of it was just me getting in my own way. I had issues with controlling the amount of, I'll be honest, the amount of, alcohol and weed I was taking in. And I felt like, those were easy things for me to cope with how life had just gotten really hard. And I think when I was doing a little bit of my research, I didn't see a lot of that in there when it comes to how also substances can really heighten that imposter syndrome, because you just really just drugs, alcohol, those things could really just have a way to play tricks with your mind. And when you already don't believe in yourself, when you're already anxious about something, you're just kind of just not really feeling it. And you don't feel capable. And I think the thing that really caused that for me is wanting to be a perfectionist and feeling like I can't put out a product, I can't put out a video, I can't put out things if it's not perfect, if I don't look perfect, if I don't feel perfect. And I think in a lot of ways, like, imposter syndrome is also linked to self-esteem issues. And I'll be honest by saying, as confident as I appeared on the outside, and there were times where I've had like very intimate conversations with some close friends, and I divulged that I had confidence issues, and they just, like, my close friends and stuff, and close friends and family just would have never ever thought that because of the ways in which I exuded it on the outside. But inside, I was like a shivering little girl who was like, what am I doing in the world? Like, how am I here? Why am I here? And if I don't show up perfect, if everything is not done the right way that I see others doing it, that I'm a failure. And I think that's really how imposter syndrome can really, it could really mess up what success that is in your life, because you keep thinking about how wrong it is, like the things that you're doing. And I actually found out that this is actually pretty common, because they tested, they did like a little statistics, like testing thing. And actually about 25 to 30% of high achievers, they suffer from imposter syndrome. And around 70% of adults may experience imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome, at least once in their lifetime. This is what research shows. And I can definitely say, as someone who, in ways, I felt like, especially with like, growing up in school, especially in high school, being the first out of like my family to go to college, of how important it was for me to achieve, because I felt like everybody was looking at me. And I think that also is like, I have to do more, better. I have to do this. I have to do great. I have to show up in this way, because I don't want to let people down. So I think that's like another thing that really does heighten, that is the need to overachieve. And I was looking about, how does perfectionism like play a role in imposter syndrome? And it's actually quite interesting, because it plays a major role. And according to Psychology Today, imposter syndrome can be closely related to perfectionism, in which people feel pressure to perform at their absolute best 100% of the time. And when they don't, they feel incompetent, anxious. It's helpful, although difficult, for people to change the way they view perfection to combat imposter syndrome. And I think that was a huge issue for me, is that perfectionism. And in 2020, when after I became a buyer, I hated that job, because I was just, when I tell y'all, I used to have panic attacks every day before work. Like, it was so bad working at that company for me. It was bad for my mental health. It was bad for my self-esteem. It was bad for my confidence. It was just horrible. And my mentor was able to pluck me out of there, because they saw that I was actually in community. And so what that brings me to, and what I'll just tap on, is how did I get out of that? And it took some time. So I think the moment where I just said, fuck it. Hey, I'm just gonna do it. Like they say, like Nike says, just do it, was during the George Floyd 2020 uprisings, when there was just people out on the streets, not just nationwide but worldwide, protesting the atrocities that we witnessed on screen, when we saw a white officer kneel on a black man's neck for well over 8 minutes. So in Seattle, they had CHOP, which before CHOP, it was just an area where we were having political conversations. We were taking care of community. There was mutual aid. And then all the craziness happened. But that was where, and CHOP was the first time I really felt like I had a voice and I had something interesting to say, because people were listening. People were asking me to speak. People were paying me for my time. And I wasn't there for the money. I was there because it was the right thing to do. And I was blessed enough to have my mentor find me and pluck me out of, you know, all that what was going on, and then put me into defund fellowship, where I was able to study defund work for over a year. And that's how I kind of got integrated in the organization I'm working with now with youth. And those first couple years, like being a defund fellow, then coming in and working at my organization, was really hard for me, because I had personal things in my life that were still being sorted out. And I had just not a lot of confidence in myself. And I just didn't think I was good enough to be where I was at, even though I had my mentor telling me, all the people around me telling me how great, how amazing I was. My ex would tell me all the time how smart, how capable I was, but I didn't believe it. And I'm not trying to take it to a sad note, but last year was probably the most challenging time ever in my life. I lost 3 people that I cared about. And then February of this year, I'll be honest with y'all, my ex of 4 years just walked out of my life. Literally walked. Like, I thought this was like on some movie TV, like Shizney. You know how like you watch like this? Okay, for the people who don't know, there used to be like an old running joke that when a dad would be like, I'm gonna go get milk from the store, and then he never came back. That's what happened to me. And he went to work, never came back home. Left everything, left his dog, like left everything. And I had to kind of pick up the pieces. But even before him leaving, I was slowly creeping out of that imposter syndrome, because I was now like doing fashion content. I was doing little skincare things on my Instagram. I made a TikTok. Like, I was slowly coming out of my shell, because I realized that it took me losing people out of my life to realize that we're only here for a short amount of time, and I'm not here for a long time. I'm definitely here for a good time, baby. So while everything may not be perfect, while a video may look weird, while I feel like I may sound weird, or an event didn't go exactly how I wanted to go, or maybe I didn't get that promotion, or anything else that just happens, life is gonna go on. And I just want to be able to be here and enjoy myself, and I don't want to be getting in my way, because I feel like in a lot of times, imposter syndrome, you're getting in your own way. And I think this also is a great way to segue to talking about like how you can fight it. Is the one thing that I feel like is really helping me, and I feel like sometimes as women, we're told to be humble, to be modest, to not like do too much, and not like be boisterous or anything like that. And I'll be honest, like growing up, I always was told I always did too much. Trayvonna, you're too loud. Trayvonna, you're too talkative. Trayvonna, you're too crazy. Trayvonna, you're too. And I'm all of those things, and that's what makes up the beauty of me. That's what makes it up, baby. And I think with women, I think us talking our shit is so important to stepping out of that imposter syndrome, to list off your achievements. That's the big thing. So reflecting on your concrete achievements, sharing your feelings like with a loved one is important to like combat this. Expecting to make mistakes at the beginning, because you're learning. Like, things are going to be perfect, but the most important thing is you just putting yourself out there and doing it. That's just the most important thing. And making concrete steps to like fight it. And when I say concrete steps to fight it, is for me posting fashion content was me stopping with the imposter syndrome, like as a way. Me speaking up in meetings more, sharing my ideas, me creating systems that actually help my job, me being able to have difficult conversations about how I feel with my loved ones. That's the ways that really help me fight it. And I think the reason why it's very, very important to fight it is because it's just going to hinder your success and all the wonderful things that the universe has placed out there for you. Whether you believe in God, Allah, Buddha, whoever, you are deserving of a rich and fulfilling life. And while everything in your life may not be perfect, but the moment in which you are at, you have the ability to control that. And just realizing that life is still a journey. You're going to make mistakes, but the most important thing is just kind of a little bit of that legacy that you leave. And you want a legacy of, you know, trying, doing. You don't want to be someone that's going to be in your shell and hide, because you'll be alone. And I don't know about y'all, I need people. This is funny, but during the pandemic, y'all, when I tell y'all because I'm an extrovert, I do have my introvert moments. But when I tell y'all, I was so used to like taking a bus, working in the office, doing all this stuff, that when the pandemic hit and I was just at home by with I think my mom and my older sister, girl, I was going to Walmart to go find some company, because I used to be like, those beginning stages of the pandemic, like that March 2020, April 2020, May 2020, I was just going to Walmart. I didn't even need nothing, just so I could say hi to somebody. Which is cute. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you share and continue to come back. Thank you so much for tuning in with Trey. Have a good day.